Hello everyone, this is Theme Park Central and welcome to another video of Week of Disney. I'll be covering the hurricane that is going to hit Walt Disney World pretty soon, and I'll be covering a bunch of other news, some leftover news from D23 that I did not cover yet, so I'm going to get right into it. So first of all, the parks have closed, the ones in Orlando, after all. Those ones have been closed. They're going to be closed for maybe today, tomorrow, maybe another day, depending on how Hurricane Ian affects the parks. It's probably not going to be too intense of a storm by the time it approaches Disney World, but definitely it's going to be intense enough to close the parks. And yeah, so we'll see if this affects the parks in any way, but I think they should be fine. And then the Hulk meet and greet that was revealed at Disneyland, that has debuted in Disneyland, and so yeah, some negative reviews for that, because the Hulk is in like a suit instead of showing its chest and stuff like that. So yeah, it's kind of weird to use the suit from Endgame, just within the land. Like he probably should have just used either the Professor Hulk gear would have probably been better. But this is pretty cool, and it shows what they can do with making these bigger characters. I just hope that I just hope that they do a better job with this next time. Um, so then, in the Crystal Palace in Magic Kingdom, the characters have returned. Winnie the Pooh and friends are meeting there once again. This is the first time since COVID, so they brought the buffet back there, I believe. So now it's pretty much back to normal there at the Crystal Palace. So that is great. Some nice character interactions there. So yeah, that's good. Always good to get stuff back. It's a little weird that it seems we have the pandemic behind us now, and we're still getting more stuff back, but that's just how they're doing it. I guess they're still have the last few things. Fantasmic, we don't know about that. They haven't done that yet. So yeah, they're still rolling some new stuff out now. And then I know I call our friend Bob. I call him by the last name Paycheck all the time. Well, it turns out I'm not crazy because someone on CNBC called him Bob Paycheck. I don't know if this was on purpose or accident, but it is funny how similar it is, and I guess he wanted to go after his family name and really get a lot of money out. And speaking of, I know JPEG, I will admit that he had settled down a little bit recently. Maybe a little too much negative feedback, so things have been a little better now. Lots of these news items are good news now. But that's not gonna erase that there are still park reservations, so you just can't go to a park any day you want. You have to actually plan it. And the Genie Plus system is still there, so I can never fully forgive JPEG if he fixes both of those, I'll forgive him. But if he fixes one, I like him a lot more, but not enough to actually like him. And then if he just doesn't keep those in place, it's still he can do add lots of new things to fix it, but it will never erase those two big mistakes that he made. So those are its two biggest mistakes in my opinion, and I do hope they get fixed at some point, because they really make the whole experience less convenient. Speaking of some good news, you could argue that this is good news. Kite Tales is ending this month. It was not a very popular show. It was pretty funny to see these big characters fly around, but it obviously wasn't the production quality that should be there with Disney. So now they don't really have a show there in that whole Discovery River area. of Animal Kingdom at all. So I really think they should consider doing maybe some kind of water ski show or jet ski stunt show for the daytime. I think that could actually work pretty well. Um, Maybe I don't know if the bridges are high enough for this, but they could actually like do some water skiing around the entire river. That would be pretty cool if they could manage to get that done. So I do think they have some good options at their disposal there with the river. Um, and you think of some of the bigger bodies of water, and for Disney World parks, you have the Epcot one. It's the only other really large one, and they're using that for boat shuttles, for the nighttime spectacular, whatever that is, since Harmonious is ending. So yeah, I really think they need to replace this with a good show that utilizes the water in the daytime. But I do really think I know Animal Kingdom it's like the one that's different from the rest, but I would love if they had some kind of nighttime spectacular, and I know it's very hard with you can't have fireworks because the animals or whatever. Um, but I think River to Light failed a few years ago, so they need to find something else. I think a good option they could do is something like the World of Color in uh, in California Adventure, although then you'd have to redo the whole water area and you couldn't do the daytime stuff. But I think they really need to maybe put barges out there. I don't know. Maybe you build a whole new area, a new body of water where you can do the spectacular. I don't know. Animal Kingdom, yeah, I talked about the two additions in the last video, but the problem with Animal Kingdom, it's a good park, but it's different than the rest. So if they really wanted to add to it, they would have to kind of fundamentally change the park, since yeah, because they don't really have that much space. It's already pretty big and mostly used for animals. So that's the problem with Animal Kingdom. But Magic Kingdom, they have announced 3 new potential lands that can come there, and I've a few hot takes on this and ideas and stuff like that. These 3 lands are Encanto, Coco, in some kind of villain's land, which would be really cool. That's the closest we're going to get to a villain's park. At this point, there is no reason for them to do a new park. I just don't think they're there yet. They need to fix these parks, fix Genie Plus and the reservations, that kind of stuff, until they're going to create a 5th park, which I think should be some kind of Star Wars Marvel park. And I do not think they will make a 5th park as well, unless they get the Marvel rights from Universal, which may never happen. So we'll see how that turns out. But so yeah, what's bad about this? I do not see these lands fitting with Magic Kingdom too well. The villains land, yes, this is supposed to go back behind Tom Sawyer Island, which in one of my Disney expansions video, that series that I finished, I had some ideas for back there, IP-free ideas, but I get Disney villains. You could argue that's like not as much IP. It's not the entirely movie-based usage. Maybe some more stuff there, so that's a little better. But yeah, the problem I have with this is that it's not part of one of the fundamental lands at Magic Kingdom, so they have to create a new one. I really don't think they should be, throwing this into Frontierland or anything like that. Uh, I think it would work well if the villains area went right next to Haunted Mansion and they had some kind of villains area there. I think that could work pretty well. And then what do you have in Encanto and Coco together? What do you name that land? So that's the problem there, since they've had those traditional lands in Magic Kingdom for a long time. So that's the biggest problem I see. We'll see if they can get around it. They should have enough land, although they might have to take away Time Sawyer Island. I'm not too sure about this. But this would be really good. I mean, I would be very happy to see this stuff come to Magic Kingdom. Magic Kingdom would have this would definitely decrease wait times. I think if they can add this and find a way to do it pretty cohesively with the rest of the park, they've done a great job. And yeah, I guess Encanto and Coco could be in Fantasyland. They would just have to build it, maybe a new Fantasyland Park 2. That's very possible. That's something they could do there. And some more good news here is that this means if this were to be built, Encanto and Coco would not be coming to Epcot, which I know some people want them to come to Epcot, but Epcot, I believe it's a park that they need to keep some IP free rides and they need to add. If there's going to be a park with non IP rides, it's going to be Epcot or Animal Kingdom. So that is some good news for Epcot. So that's going to conclude it for this video. Please make sure to subscribe and like. And this is Theme Park Central. Bye.